Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the Baker Act and why, unless it's an emergency, you should not take your loved one to the emergency room to get some type of mental health assistance. So let me explain. This is just a call I just had, but I've seen this, literally dozens and dozens of times, and it really started to happen during COVID when people couldn't get in to see their clinicians. So young man, first year of college, dealing with the stress and anxiety of getting used to a whole new environment, and expressed to his parents, listen, he was having a little anxiety, and they took him to the emergency room of a local hospital. And the first thing that they asked the mother was, does he have health insurance? And the next thing you know, he's being interviewed, on what they call a telehealth interview, which means it was basically some kind of clinician who was interviewing him through an iPad or a computer, something like that, not in person. And 15 minutes later, they came out and they told the mother, we're going to get him some help, and we're going to Baker Act him. Now, of course, the mother didn't know what that meant. She didn't know what the Baker Act was. And the next thing you know, within 24 hours, he's been shipped off to a behavioral health unit, a behavioral health facility that we have litigated against many times. And I said to the mother, I'm familiar with this facility. I have dragged him into court, frankly, more times at this point than I can count. And we filed, at this point, I think close to 500 of these cases against various facilities all over the state. But this facility is definitely way up on the top of that list, or close to the top, in terms of how many times I've had to drag them in court. And typically I'm doing that on a weekly basis. And sometimes I've had 2 or 3 cases pending at the same time against the same facility. So I'm familiar with how they work. And this young man has health insurance, and they're going to want to keep him. I'm 99% sure they're going to want to try and keep him. So this is something we see a lot, right? Where people go to the emergency room looking for some type of behavioral health help. And my personal philosophy is that unless this is an emergency, a life or death situation, you shouldn't be going to an emergency room. Because if you go to an emergency room seeking mental health help, and it's not a life or death situation, but you have health insurance, there is a distinct possibility, based on what I have seen over the last, bunch of years, that you will get sucked into Florida's mental health system. And as you know from other videos, once you're in, it can be difficult to get out. Number one, nobody knows you're there because they don't report to anybody. And number two, absent them physically damaging you in some way, you can't sue them, because as an agent, as a licensed agent of the state's mental health system, they enjoy immunity like any other state agency. So if you are going to go to the emergency room, even if there's no evidence of self-harm, in this case, the staff even told the mother they didn't think he was a danger to himself or others. But you see, what they do is they sugarcoat it. We're just going to get him assessed. He'll be out by the end of the day. If worst case scenario, he'll be out by tomorrow. And now he's been sucked into Florida's mental health system. He's barely of age. He's in a facility where there's men, 3 times his age, and he's really scared. And I don't blame him for being scared, because I know what goes on inside this particular facility. So if you need help, look, call us. I've got tons of resources. I'll refer you to a facility, a behavioral health facility that's not going to suck you into Florida's mental health system. I'll refer you to a clinician. I have a ton of resources, and you can have them for free. I don't charge you for that. Well, the only time we charge is if you are hiring us to give you legal advice or do legal work for you. Otherwise, I got all these resources. I'll just give them to you. I put all these videos out for free, so you have the information that you need, so you can figure out if you even need a lawyer. But this is a classic case. Somebody going to the emergency room, needing help, and getting sucked into the system. This is Florida's mental health system, and it's draconian, and it's broken, and it's wrong. But we're going to fight to get this young man out. Anyway, with that said, thank you for tuning in. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.